All right, let's dive in. Today we are looking at something pretty mind-blowing from A Course in Miracles, and you know me, I always go for the mind-blowing stuff. Lesson 29. Even if you haven't been following along with us through the course so far, stick with us because this one has some pretty universally applicable ideas, I think.
It really does. This one is a little less about specific steps to take or, things to practice and more about a fundamental shift in perception, kind of like a lens through which to view the world and everything in it.
So should we just jump right into it? God is in everything I see. That's how Lesson 29 starts.
There it is. Simple and bold. I think probably designed to be a little bit jarring for most people.
I mean, jarring is putting it mildly. I could definitely see how some people would immediately just like, nope, I'm out.
The Course actually acknowledges that. It says this idea will seem quite startling at first, which I love. I love that it just comes right out and says, like, we know this is going to freak you out a little bit, but just stick with us.
Because I got to say, I look around and, I mean, I don't know about you, but I see like dirty dishes, my to-do list, which is way too long, my cat throwing up on the rug. It's like, where's the God in all that?
Right. It's like, okay, God is in everything I see, but what about all this, like, not so great stuff? And this actually connects back to something we talked about with Lesson 28 about the idea of a shared purpose, like everything in the universe being part of this sort of this interconnected web of purpose.
I think you called it a cosmic dance. Right?
Yeah. And I stand by that.
So when we're talking about God here, we're not talking about like a dude with a white beard up in the sky, but more like this force or energy that connects everything.
Yeah. I think that's a really helpful way to think about it. It doesn't have to fit into any particular religious box. It's more about recognizing that deep down everything is connected, and that there's this kind of, I guess you could call it a divine energy that's flowing through everything.
Yeah, I'm getting like nature documentary vibes. Like when you see those shots of the jungle ecosystem or whatever, and it zooms out and you see how everything is connected, even the predator and the prey and the plants and everything, it all has its place.
Right. Like it's not just random chaos. It's actually all working together in this really incredible way. And I think that's what the Course is trying to get us to see with this lesson. Mm-hmm. That same interconnectedness is happening all around us all the time. And the Course actually, it suggests a practice.
Oh, a practice. Okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah. It's super simple. It says to pick any object you see and just state, God is in this. So it could be your coat or a magazine or your fingernail, anything you see, you just look at it and you say, God is in this.
I've actually tried this.
Oh, you have?
Yeah. Well, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I was having a really rough morning. You know those mornings where everything's just going wrong?
I think we all know those mornings.
So I was making my coffee and I spilled it everywhere. And I was just like, this is already a terrible day. Mm-hmm. And I remembered this lesson. So I looked at the coffee stain and I said, God is in this coffee stain. It felt ridiculous. I'm not going to lie. But I kid you not, as I kept saying it, like my whole energy shifted. It's like I zoomed out and saw the stain and the whole spilled coffee situation, like from a wider perspective.
I love that. And that wider perspective, that shift, I think that is exactly what the Course is pointing to. And the really cool thing is that, the more you practice this, the more that sense of connection, that sense of underlying peace, it just starts to become more and more available to you.
So we're not just talking about like this nice little thought experiment. It can actually change how we experience our everyday life.
Exactly. And I think that's where it gets really interesting, right? Because it's like, okay, so God is in everything I see, but what does that actually look like in practice? Like, how does that change how I deal with a challenging situation at work or how I react when my kids are driving me crazy?
Okay, so let's say I'm having a hard time with a coworker. They're really frustrating and I'm feeling super annoyed. How does seeing God in that coworker actually help me in that moment?
Well, imagine this. You're in that meeting with that coworker and they're being, difficult and you're feeling all those feelings of frustration. And in that moment, you remember, okay, God is in everything I see. God is in this coworker. Not some holier than thou way, but just in the sense that this person is also part of this interconnected web of being, that they are also a manifestation of that universal energy.
So it's not about condoning their behavior or anything like that. It's more about seeing them as part of something bigger.
Yes, yes. And I think that can help you detach from the ego clash, because a lot of the time when we're getting, frustrated with someone, it's because our ego is getting all, caught up in the situation. But if you can see that person as part of something bigger, as connected to you in this deep way, it can help you to let go of that ego attachment and to just respond with more compassion and understanding.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But what about those times when I'm the one being difficult? Can we even apply this idea to ourselves? Like, can I see God in my own like frustration and negativity?
That's a great question, and I think it's actually the key to really integrating this lesson. What if instead of judging ourselves for feeling frustrated or angry or whatever it is, we saw those feelings as part of that same universal energy, just, another expression of that energy that's in everything and everyone.
So it's not about trying to like force ourselves to be happy and positive all the time. It's more about like accepting all parts of ourselves, even the messy parts.
Right. I think that's really what it comes down to, accepting ourselves as we are with all our imperfections and recognizing that even those imperfections are part of something bigger, part of something beautiful and interconnected. And I think that's a really powerful and liberating way to live.
So maybe lesson 29 is less about religious dogma and more about, I don't know, a radical shift in how we perceive ourselves, how we perceive each other, how we perceive the world around us.
Exactly. And I think the really cool thing about this is it's not something that you just read and then you're done. It's an ongoing process. It's something that you can keep coming back to and exploring in your own life.
So if God is in everything I see, what does that say about the power that lies within us? I think we'll leave you to ponder that today. Till next time, folks.
I